Jake's heart raced as he fought against the monstrous creatures in the dense, mist-filled forest. Each step was calculated, every punch he threw an effort to keep his enemies at bay. The air was thick with tension, and the smell of alien flora mixed with the sweat on his brow. He had been stranded on this planet for days, fighting for his life against beasts beyond his imagination. The planet, once thought to be a barren wasteland, had proven to be more than just a hostile environment. It was alive, and the creatures within it were relentless. Just as he swung his sword at another attacking creature, the ground beneath him trembled. From the dense fog, a massive figure emerged, towering over the beasts he was fighting. Jake froze, his weapon poised in midair, as he took in the sight of the newcomer. The figure was unlike anything he had ever seen, standing at over 8 feet tall, with glowing eyes and a physique that seemed more like that of a beast than a being. She appeared to be a creature of legend. Her features were both terrifying and alluring, a strange mix of power and grace. Before Jake could react, she was upon him, her hand wrapping around his chest with the strength of 100 men. Fear gripped Jake as he struggled against her hold, but there was no breaking free. Her eyes bore into his with an intensity that sent a shiver down his spine. "Help me," she commanded, her voice deep and commanding, yet laced with an unfamiliar vulnerability. "Help me make Offspring." The words hit Jake like a slap to the face. He stared at her in disbelief, trying to process what she had just said. He was a fighter, not some breeding tool. He had never felt more out of place in his life. The shock of it all made him forget for a moment the danger he was in. His mind raced as he looked into the creature's glowing eyes, unsure of whether he should run or stand his ground. But the Beastwoman didn't seem to care for his reaction. She didn't wait for him to understand. With a fierce look in her eyes, she began to explain her desperate situation. "My people, they are dying," she said, her voice softer now, tinged with a sadness that Jake had not expected. "We have no future unless I find a partner. A strong one." Her words felt like a punch to his gut. This wasn't just about him. This was about survival. Zara, as she called herself, was from a species that was on the brink of extinction. The planet was dying, and so were her people. Their ability to reproduce had been lost over generations, leaving their race on the verge of extinction. Zara's tribe, once powerful and proud, now barely clung to life, hiding in the shadows and battling not just the planet's harsh conditions, but also the ruthless predators that roamed its surface. She went on to explain that her species needed a partner from a strong race, someone who could help revive their bloodline. In Zara's eyes, Jake was the answer. He wasn't just a human, he was a beacon of hope, a way for her people to survive. But the idea of what she was asking felt impossible to him. As Zara spoke, Jake's mind buzzed with confusion. How could he, a mere human, help save an entire species? What was he supposed to do? And how did he feel about Zara's request? The thought of being part of something so monumental, so life-changing, terrified him. But beneath his fear, there was something else, a sense of duty, of responsibility. Could he really turn his back on someone in need? But Zara's desperation was palpable. Her once proud people were now shadows of themselves, their strength fading and their future uncertain. Jake could see the weight of the world on her shoulders, the burden of her tribe's survival resting on her. Zara's eyes softened as she realized Jake's hesitation. She took a step closer, her voice quieter now. "We are not so different, you and I," she said. "Survival is instinct. It is what drives us. You have fought for your life in this world. So have I." Jake looked at her, really looked at her. The Beastwoman wasn't just a creature of raw strength and power. She was a survivor, just like him. Her people had endured trials that Jake couldn't even imagine, and yet they were on the brink of extinction, fighting to survive in a world that no longer cared for them. It was the same in many ways for him. He, too, was fighting for his life in a hostile world, trying to make it out alive. The tension between them was thick, but Jake's confusion slowly began to clear. Zara wasn't asking him for something casual or trivial. She was asking for his help in saving her entire species. The enormity of what she was asking struck him, but so did the sense of responsibility. Could he really refuse? As days passed, Jake found himself torn between his instincts and the pull of something deeper. He had always been a fighter, always focused on survival. But this was different. Helping Zara wasn't just about him anymore. It was about the survival of an entire race, an entire world. Zara continued to teach Jake about her people, their history, their struggles. He learned that their species, while once mighty, had been brought to the brink by war, disease, and the harsh conditions of the planet. Their reproductive abilities had dwindled over generations, and now only a few remained. Zara, with her strength and knowledge, was one of the last hopes for her people. The more Jake understood, the more he found himself drawn to Zara. She was fierce, yes, but also wise and compassionate in ways he hadn't expected. Despite her alien appearance, there was a deep humanity within her, a struggle to survive, just like him. And as they spent more time together, Jake realized that their bond was growing stronger. He began to see her not just as a Beastwoman, but as a living, breathing being with hopes, dreams, and a desperate need to save her people. As their connection deepened, so did the stakes. Zara's people were running out of time, and Jake knew that every moment they spent hesitating was another moment lost. He had a decision to make, a choice that would forever change the course of his life and the future of Zara's species. And so, in the heart of the alien world, Jake made his choice. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about legacy, hope, and the future of two races, intertwined in ways neither of them had ever imagined. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, ready to fight for survival, for each other, and for the future.